computer. All right. So far we've designed our websites in WordPress using a different server. So that is your amps. Then your WAM. You use a WordPress to design the website, and you play around with a couple of themes. And here you have the themes. So today I want to look into the files, okay? Knowing where the files sit at, well, what happens to them if you want to edit something. Last time we touched the database a little bit. So there's a video on Blackboard about databases. So today we shall tackle that. Right, files. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. Share. All right. So for those on Windows, your root folder, let's see, it'll be under your C, and then WAMP 64, and then you have a www. All right. And then my folder is this AI. So that's where all your files sit at. So you have your root folder, and that's a keyword right there. In other words, if you don't call it root folder, you can call it the www folder. These are terminologies that you use in web design. Okay. If somebody says, dump this files on the root folder, then ask, what is the root folder? That's the keyword right? So this is www. So for those using amps, so if you can't find it physically, just go to your thing and I think there's a folder or something like that. Click on it and we'll take it to where your files are. Okay, good.
I don't have AMP64, but I already went to www.
Yeah, if you got the root folder, that's it. No problem. So long as you can find it, it's okay. Those using WAMP, that's how you get it. So if I go back one step here, you see that I do have more than one folder. Okay, I have Chef Max. That's another website. And go back here. I have another one here. So many. So on WAMP or AMPs, you can actually have more than one website. Each of these themes will have their individual database. Okay. It's a database 1, database 2. So you cannot share different WordPress configurations for the same database. Doesn't work like that. In real world deployment, you're not going to create folders. What you do is that you dump your entire files here into the root folder. So like you don't put it in a folder, just put everything in the root folder. So sometimes you see something like this. We have a folder called fabric _ HTML. So this is the same as the root folder. Right. So that's why you just dump all these files as they are over there. Now, this server here that we installed has some default configurations. So if you look closely here, we have a file called index.php. All right. You see this file here? So the server knows that any web file named index.php, PHP is the home page. You can call it, it could be index.html, then call it home, PHP, home.html. So these keywords, index and home, are words that the server knows that is the file. So when you go to amosville.edu, yes, put that in your address. What it does, it goes into the public or the root folder and find that file, and that's the file it loads first. Okay. So if you're wondering how your web server knows that what's the first page to load, it looks for the file name. Anything you name index.html or PHP, it will take that as as a homepage. Okay, so all of you must be having either index or home, or at least those are the two keywords that I've used before. Okay. Good. We haven't touched PHP as a programming language, web programming language, but for now, that'll be for a different advanced website class. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is the config.php. I'm going to right click and open it with the Notepad++. Just give me a second when it's ready. It's over here. So if you look at this closely, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So when you're installing your WordPress theme, a special file is created called config. WP. So this configuration file has a couple of things, okay? So this is just a comment, okay? You guys know how to comment your files. So you have just a, this is how PHP comments its files using a slash asterisk and then an asterisk and the word slash. Or you can use double slashes if you're doing it in one line. So you can see database name, that's how I called it. Remember? So if you guys can open your config file, you see that this is the database name that you gave while you're installing your database. This is the username for the database. And for me using WAM, I do not have any password. When you're using AMPS, your password is MySQL. So you should see that there. The database host is localhost. Again, that's a keyword. It just knows that it's there, the server itself. Then this is the kind of database character set. So it's just the UTF-8B4, MB4. Then database locate, I left it empty, does not change, don't worry about that. So then there's some other encryptions and the keys. So authentication key is there, security authentication key, login key, and all that. So what I usually do is that if I'm designing a website for an individual that has already something online, I rather do the config, install the WordPress directly on the server, because these encrypted files or scripts here will be different from server to server or from configuration to configuration of installation. So if I try to migrate this from my local host to public, I may need to change some of those things, and they're not easy to change. It's not really like copy paste. So ideally, if you want to design a website on a real world platform, go ahead and do it there. Unless you're too good to know how to migrate it, sometimes it is, if you look closely, I'll show you a couple of files. You can see there are some other files I've not even touched, but they do work together, which it may not be easy for you to modify each of these. All right. So if you go down, you remember our table prefix. So WordPress comes with the default WP underscore, and I added my 3DAD. Yes, kind of add on security. I touched that a little bit last time. And then WordPress debug is turned on false. Sometimes if you install the plugin and it crashes your website, you can want to turn that to true. And what it'll do, it'll give you some sort of error message on your screen for you to troubleshoot. And that's the end of the page. So a few other pages here. Here's just calling the setuping the WordPress variable path. So there's another PHP file here, which is somewhere. Let me find it. WP-settings. Yeah, here. So it's referencing another file. Let me try to open this. Let me see how that looks like. Yeah, just giving paths to other different files wherever they are. So I'm not going to go into this because I really don't mess around with this. I just leave it as is. But I wanted to show you the config file. All right, as you can see here, we have a database, user, password, and everything. A fresh WordPress theme does not have the config file. So when you finish installation, it will create this file and everything, and then you go ahead and install it. Okay, good. So now again, let's go back to the folders and the files. So in the WP admin, so you have your so your dashboard is under that folder, WP. So folder is WP dash admin. Okay. So you guys probably know that by now. So whenever you go to your website, it will be your domain. So localhost slash folder name -ai slash that folder WP dash admin. This one usually takes you to the dashboard. Okay. So everything you view in the dashboard is pretty much inside in this folder here. Well, to be honest, I don't know what exactly happens in behind there, but I just know that this is where they config the files for the dashboard sit at. If you want to spend more time and dig through every file and see what it does, you're free to do that. But that's just to let you know that that's where the files are. Okay. Let's go to the content here. So here you're talking about the themes, plugins, fonts, what else is uploads, upgrades, and all that. Right. So let's start with fonts. I did see some of you changed a little bit of fonts on your website. Others took some fancy, nice website fonts. Others maintained the same font. Others used some sort of cursive style of fonts. So here you can add a folder of fonts and be able to specify what font you want to use in your website. Again, so for now we have this robot and Monder fonts. Okay. Let's go back a little bit here. You have your plugins. So far, these are the plugins that I've installed. I have a photo gallery. We did it last time. This is what they import the dummy data. There's some other extensions over here, and then there's nothing that comes with it. Comes default. So guys, this is from experience. Plugins are good, but plugins can crash your entire website. Just one plugin. Plugin that is not configured or is not rightly, it's not in line with your either version of PHP or WordPress theme version and all that. You install a plugin and you get a white screen of death. That's how you call it. Just white. Everything's correct. You reboot, you try everything. So what happens is that if that happens, that means that you install the plugin and activated it. If you can't find where the problem is, come manually here. Just go to your root folder, go to your folder itself, go to W content, go to plugin, and you'll find the folder there. Just right click and then delete. Just delete it, throw it away, and back. Your website is back to life. So if money is on the line, knowing where to solve this will be key, right? If a client wants a certain plugin and is insisting on it and you install it and the whole website goes down, just go there and just delete that plugin and everything will come back on, and try to convince the client to like, hey, let's try something else because somehow it crashed the website. So simply deleting it from here will bring you back to life. Okay. So of course, inside there are other files that are running that particular. Let me actually be opening browser here. Right. All right. So each folder has its specific plugin files. If you click on those ones. So again, this is a very good tool. I don't know how many times I've gone back and just deleted a folder because it gave me a white screen of death. I can't figure out what exactly that plugin is all about. And sometimes it's not good to activate more than one plugin because you don't know which one caused the white screen of death. So you better activate one, run your website, everything is good, activate another one, like that, like that. So again, guys, this knowing where to find the plugin is more than just beneficial. All right, come back to my page here. So themes, again, so it's a cool thing. So most of your themes are placed in the theme folder. So right now I do have I think the gold max and gold sport are the ones that are coming off of this template that we did worked on last time. Okay, I'll just leave that one there. Yeah, there you go. So here you can see I have a couple of folders, and these are the default templates that come with WordPress, and I added my own. So whenever you add in a theme, either manually or through a zip file, here is where the theme comes to. All right, there are instances where you're working on a real world example. You try to upload that zip folder of a template, and it doesn't go through. For some reason, either the server doesn't allow you to upload zip files. So what you do, you unzip the folder and physically grab it and dump it here, and it will appear on the other side. Okay, we'll do some of that example here. So it's as good as unzipping it, putting it there, go back to your dashboard, go to your themes appearances, and then you'll see it appearing there. The same with the plugin. If a plugin is annoying and it doesn't want to upload via the zip folder at the back end of your dashboard, don't sweat it, unzip it, copy that whole folder, come and dump it over here, go back to your dashboard, and you'll find it there. Just activate it. So ideally, whenever you install a plugin or a theme, what it does, it just picks that zip folder, unzip it, and put it in this folders. And then you are the one to decide to activate it or not. All right, let's go back again. Okay. So themes. So under update, let's see. So what on it? So it's working on it. I don't know if I have so many folders like that. Let's go to uploads for now. Okay, uploads, that's where you have your photos. And WordPress has its own brain. It knows what folder to create. It has a brain of its own. Last time, remember, I just picked one of these pictures from where I downloaded it from. And when I uploaded it on my front page, and here I am down here. But if you look in the back end, it created like 3 versions of that. Okay. So there's a photo itself, and then there's one which is cropped 150 by 150. And then there's another one which is cropped by 233 by 300. And then there's another one. So what do you think what this is like?
If it needs to be resized for different platforms, or if it just needs to be resized for the format.
Right. All right. Remember we talked about the how do you call it? The template is responsive. Yes, it's responsive. All right. So some of these are built to show on a mobile, on a tablet, on a phone. So it creates different version of those images. So if you're viewing this website, if I try to maybe say zoom in, let me just try to shrink it a little bit to show. Let's see if it's on a mobile. I'm just gonna shrink the page.
If you go to the edit thing, it's like
something like that. So you can see now the picture has changed to not the small one, but to now a little bit of a long. Yeah. So, and even the menu has changed to that. And a few other things. So even my banner has shrunk a little bit, and you can see there are different sizes over here for different. So for responsiveness, it has to create a few other extra files that will help to maintain the integrity of the design. So this is good to know where your files at. What is it doing? What are the files? Sometimes you go and change. Back in the day, I used to just edit this file manually. You just go right click, find where the image is, and then I find the folder here, and I have to manually do it one by one. It was very painful because those days the WordPress was not that smooth as it is right now. But right now you can see it is doing a good job for me. Even the banner, which is this huge thing here, you can see it has created a few other examples that I didn't have to worry about. It just went ahead and created for me different versions and different sizes for the responsiveness. So here is more for the consideration mobile, tablet, screen, or say PC, and then screen. So all this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So all these 4 different screen sizes, they're all factored in right there. If you're having a gallery, it may have its own folder. Last time we installed a gallery plugin. Again, it knows what it does behind the scenes. And what you have to do is this: when you're designing a website, put in mind that you have the UX, user experience. Let me go this one for now. User. So you should have user experience in mind, where you don't want your banner take more than 30 seconds to load because you uploaded a HD image and the dimensions are super crazy. So there are certain files, like say images that are JPEG, are lighter as compared to the PNG files. PNG are much more crispy. The resolution is high, but they're heavy. So it may take longer to load, and that gives not a very good user experience. But the PNG is a little bit lighter, it's a little bit pixelated if you zoom in. But from a website perspective, you don't see much difference. But it could be maybe 3 or 4 times smaller in size as compared to this. So you want to make a decision to lighten your files and images. Make sure that your images are light enough to give a good user experience. Okay. So for those on social media, you know what this means. Whenever you're scrolling up or you're loading a website or loading your social media platform, you're not patient to wait for a picture to load all through. So make sure that you have a good image size. All right, so you can see it has created some thumbnails for me. I did create, these are the originals that I did upload. So now I select them, it creates a thumbnail and now creates the actual files. Anybody aware about the SEO? You know what that stands for? Stands for search. Engine optimization. During the WordPress installation, it asks you, do you want search engines to index your website? There's a checkbox to say, no, do not do that. So because you don't do that, that means that your website is kind of built for search engines to find your website. Now, if you've noticed, if I do an example here, search for my name, go to images. So it'll bring pages that my name appears, but also files that has my name. Okay, so there's some other extra files here. This is my YouTube. This is LinkedIn. That's ResearchGate and X, YouTube, all that. And I used to work with this guy from a PhD. Yeah, sometimes I make some noise. So when you're uploading files for a company, remember search engine optimization means that you want to make it easy for search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever, ChatGPT can find your client's file as quick as possible. So rather than uploading images with images without a clear caption, so it's not the fault of WordPress. Yeah, that the original ones, as you see, it had those funny names. So what I usually do is this: if my company is Chef Max, for example, so what I'll do is that all files will be named Chef Max, but in a nice way, okay? Because sometimes it will say that that file name exists. For example, I'll say if I have like 5 images, different ones, it'll be Chef Max _01 dot TPG. Okay? Chef Max 02. Or if I want to maintain something that is professional, I'll do this. I'm just using a personal website. It'll be my full name _ 01 JP. The same thing, 02, 03. When search engines are looking for content, they not only look at what is inside it, but also look at the file name. So if this company has like so many ping pong, whatever, you want to name your files in a way that is descriptive. Even if it's a PDF, it'll be max, let's go certificate dot PDF. It makes sense? So make sure that everything you do is how do you say? Everything you do is well documented, that is easy for search engines to find. Don't use arbitrarily file names like they did there. If you do that, fine, you have content, but this content is not easy to find because it's just given funny names. So let me go back a little bit here. I'm using myself as an example. So when I do search for my name, this is not for bragging purposes, just show you an example. And I think it should be the best example to show. I put my name. I go all the way to the bottom. Back in the day, they used to show how many links come with that. Before Google changed a few things, I used to show you how many, what the results show up here. Let me see. I used to give a number at the very top here. I think Google just changed how they do it. I'm using, okay, let me change it to Chrome. Yeah, Chrome. So what happens is that whenever you're searching for something, it's going to show up. It'll give you a number at the very top of how many results that it has found. Maybe say you'll have found like, say maybe these are like.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like found this many in this many seconds.
Yes. So for example, let's assume these are maybe say like 10 pages. I have Chrome browser here now. Let me do this. Is it giving me as well? No. Nope. Okay, let me try my name again one more time.
I got rid of that.
All right. There used to be a number over here. But right now, probably they remove it. So that number will be like how many keywords it has found with how many files it has found with my name on it. That could be pictures, PDFs, web content. It could be files, Word documents, whatever that may be. It'll just put a number there, like, hey, I found this many thousands. All right. So you don't want to do a lot of good work over here, and none of this is counting toward your search engine optimization. Make sense? So make sure that everything is kind of branded. You now are the brand guy from a back end. The company will give you the colors and everything, but for you to increase this optimization, you want to name those files intentionally. for the business. So whenever you're doing the search engines know what files to pick, because nowadays people go for images, news, videos, shopping, all that is toward, I don't know anything about my name on that, but so you don't want to lose any of the clients because you don't name the files appropriately for the client to be found. Okay. So in your contracts, I saw some of you mentioning that they're fairly good. I think there are only 3 people that did a professional, and I enjoyed it. And I did give you guys a comment, probably yourselves. So you guys did nail it, from having a title to a good introduction to all the sections to putting the price. If it is free, make sure that it's free. If it is paid, you make sure that it's going to be this amount of money. At the very end, you need signatures. So it's a legal document. Terms of reference is a legal document, and there's nothing legal than having a signature. Okay, if something doesn't have a signature, then just any other simple paper out there. All right. All right. Pause here for a second. Any questions for me? Any questions about WordPress and everything in the back end here? About the content here. Okay, I'll go ahead and pause the video. Okay. All right.
They just have 2 minutes at the end of just looking at the files.
Absolutely, yeah. All right. So as a web designer, web developer using WordPress, again, you need to be on top of your game, know how to install your web server. But if somebody has a real world server already, you don't have to worry about installation. It's already pre-installed. Get your WordPress theme, install the theme itself, link it to your database. You just know at the back of your mind that this config file will be created. You don't have to worry about it, but know that something new will be created. The server knows that these are the home pages based off of the name it's given to it. Index.php is the first file to be launched. Okay, good. And in the back end, you have your, how to get your dashboard. You have a admin, and this is how you go to it. Is your, for this case, it will be the domain name of the company. Now, let me give an example. I like the shift marks here now. The HTTPS. It's a secure link, by the way. chefmax.com/wp admin. So right now here you don't have as localhost. This is a real domain name. And we've installed a WordPress theme in there. Everything is good. You're gonna go to the back dashboard. This is how you get it right. Put your domain name / this and go to your dashboard. Okay. You've seen where the photos are set at. Under here we have our fonts, plugins, themes, all that fun stuff. It's good to know. If a theme is stubborn and doesn't want to upload via the dashboard, just unzip it, come and bring it here as it is. Don't copy the contents thereof, bring the entire folder there, and then go ahead to your backend and activate it. Okay, let me come here. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna come to my dashboard here for a second. All right. So we touched databases last time. Okay, you need to log in. I don't have a password. Oh, my bad. This is my backend. Let's forget it. I think I missed. Oh, I got my password finally. Yeah, good. So backend, you guys are familiar with that. Everything is as you guys are familiar with. I'm going to share that. All right. So back to, for example, the themes. So these are the themes I have here. I'm going to put them on the side. I'll go to appearance, themes. Here we go. So Gold Sport, that's the one right there. Okay. Gold Max is that one there. 2024, 2025 actually is right there. 24 is right there. You see all that, all these folders here. So let me do a demo here. I'm gonna delete 2022. Just gonna come here, right click, delete, it's gone. Here, refresh, boom, it's gone. That's how you solve it. If it's a theme that is stubborn and doesn't want to stay on or is somehow crashing the entire system, just go ahead and download it, refresh it, and it will disappear. All right. Whenever we click to add theme, what it does, in essence, it will come over here and add the folder right there. Same for the plugins. If I've got the plugins, so these are the plugins that are existing right now. I come over here, I'm gonna put it on the side. Plugins. And see, I have that. Blogger, photo gallery, and silver something. All right.
Oh, these are just active in here.
So when they're activated, they can be there existing, but they're not activated. Like this one is not activated. Oh, it's activated, but I can deactivate it.
It's the hello dog is one.
Yeah, yeah, this one is not
active.
Yeah, this is not active. So, all right. So if I wanted to delete the photo gallery for some reason, it's not working, it's crashing my server, my website, I'll just come over here, right click, delete it, I refresh it to be gone, and nothing will be displayed. Okay, good. All right. So let me stop sharing. We also saw a couple of things that your website has to be responsive. Other than being responsive, it has to be browser. It should be multi. So should be able to support multiple browsers: Safari, Chrome, Edge, Mozilla. What else? Have I touched everything?
Safari, Bing.
Yeah, Bing.
Yeah. Yahoo.
So this is the browsers. I know there's a Bing, there's Edge. So sometimes these two go together.
Yahoo.
So Yahoo will be the search engine, but not a browser.
Browsers.
It should be a browser. Should support multiple browsers. Yahoo I think it was a search engine. Does not have a browser. Yeah, never had a browser.
Maybe. It was a part of Google now.
Yeah. All right. So it should not only support the different screens, but also should support multiple browsers. Most of WordPress themes support everything, but you need to, in your contract, you mention that you will design a website that cuts across multiple browsers, is responsive, it is search engine optimized. If you're the one listening, if you're the one the client, you want to know that, hey, if I go to any browser, my website will load. If I use any device, there's nothing that will be thrown off. If I'm searching it online, it will come as my first, it'll be crazy if I search for my name here or Evansville and the first link that shows up here is something else because I do not do a good job here. And to do this, WordPress is already designed to do that already, but you as a designer, you have to always be intentional in how you create your files and how you name them and everything. All right. So